Welcome to One EMS Assessment. We're here at the GEMSA Providers Conference at Jekyll Island. I'm here with Megan Markle. No? Megan Kamplain?
There you go.
Oh. you tricked me into having you on here.
That's okay.
Megan, I've known you since you're a baby EMT, I do believe. And You're no longer a baby EMT. What are you now?
I'm now an advanced EMT.
All right.
And an instructor. And I think I'm comfortable there for now.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So that's going to be part of the first question. We do 3, 2, 1. 3 easy questions, 2 medium to tough questions, and 1 you don't really have an answer, so it's a hard question, but we'll get there. So about ideas. Addy. So, Megan, we talked about that. Why EMS? Why did you come to be an EMT to start with?
I was born into it.
Basically, right?
Yeah. My father was a paramedic for, 30 years now?
I don't know. He's still putting rookie numbers on the board.
Yeah. And,
is he really a paramedic if he doesn't actually work anymore?
I mean, he teaches. He's still doing stuff.
Yeah,
he
those
keeps up
who
with all
teach can't. No, I'm just kidding. I taught with her daddy for a long time, too.
Isn't that what you do now, too?
I run a company now.
He does,
so,
too.
Slightly different. Yeah, no, I know.
Okay,
but yeah, you were born into it.
But not only was he just a paramedic when I was younger, he was an instructor, which means he needed pediatric patients. And who else is who else is a more convenient patient than his own child? So
I mean, we do have kids for a reason.
Yeah.
My kids did the same thing, right?
Yes.
They came through.
So I started being the patient. I learned how to do things like splint broken bones when I was like 5, do things with airways before I could drive, and then when I turned 18, I finally got my license.
So what do you do now?
Now I do marketing and admissions and finance for his school, Georgia Institute of EMS.
Okay.
I got my EMT and advanced EMT license while I was finishing my business degree in school, and now I kind of just combine it all together.
Now, for a little while, though, didn't you work with the Georgia EMS Association? Or you're ambassador or something?
For a little bit, and then there were issues with like my email and nothing actually went on with it.
But you worked at Central for a while. You've gone. It's not just I grew up under Daddy's wing and now I just work for Daddy. You actually have been out there and do work.
I was in the field for a bit. I loved being on the ambulance so much more than I thought I would. And I saw the pitfalls of education with some other places, what needed to be improved upon in education for people in the field, for not only initial but also continuing education, what could help improve in management, and it just pushed me back into education to help improve the field entirely.
So what's one piece of advice you would give to somebody entering the field right now?
Be open-minded. Assume you know nothing.
Okay. All right. So here's some of the tougher questions. You have all the power in the world, nothing stopping you. What is one thing you would change about EMS?
I definitely think there needs to be more education for management and a more clear, direct route for how people are promoted. Like in the fire department, it's clear like you need to have these certifications, you need to have these degrees, and then you can move up in rank. That's not really the case in EMS, I think, and that's why there's sometimes dysfunction and confusion, and there's sometimes really great leaders and sometimes there's not. And so if we bridge that gap and add more education for the management side so that we can create good leaders in the field, not just good paramedics, I think it would help the field as a whole.
I dig it. What are your goals for your career?
My goals?
I mean, I know your daddy's goals for you, but what are your goals for you?
My goals? I feel as if right now the field of EMS is kind of dwindling down. I think a new statistic for the average career length of someone in EMS is less than 5 years.
That's about right, yeah.
So
5, 6 years.
There's not many career medics anymore, which is disappointing because it's a beautiful career. It's provided for me my entire life, and I think it will continue to do so. So I kind of want to get to the bottom of that issue to help replenish EMS and to kind of get the respect that it needs instead of being the ugly step-headed or the stepchild redheaded
right
thing.
Yeah. Redheaded stepchild is what
Yeah,
you go
redheaded
for.
stepchild.
And to that point, as an industry, we need to grow up. We need to hold standards over ourselves that mirror the standards of whatever you want to compare it to, fire or nursing, those kind of things. So, all right, the hard category, you get to pick. Finance, mental health, education, or I get to ask you anything.
You choose.
All right, this is going to be interesting. Do you feel like it's been a harder path for you being born into EMS? As opposed to like myself, I came in not knowing anything about it. I got to see fresh everything, learn from a bunch of different people. Do you feel like being a second generation EMT like directly has...
There's been some downfalls to it, but overall I think it was easier because there was no like jump scare for me joining this field. I already knew what to expect. I knew everything in it. I knew a lot of the skills before I could actually do the skills. The hardest thing I have noticed is proving that I know what I'm doing. Because not only do I work at my dad's school, so I have to show, hey, I actually belong here. I know what I'm doing.
That's Faithful Guardian, right?
No, it's Georgia Institute of EMS.
You weren't throwing it out. I was just confused. I got confused for a second. Georgia Institute of EMS.
Georgia Institute of EMS, yes. So I'm not there just because I'm my father's daughter. I'm there because I've put in the years. I did the training. I did the education. I know what I'm doing. And oftentimes, since we are a private trade school, I am teaching people who are sometimes twice my age.
Yeah.
And they don't like to think that I know what I'm doing. They want to believe that, okay, I'm just some new young buck that just came into this and they hired her because she's pretty. Not what happened. So I kind of have to go the extra mile to prove that I know what I'm doing and that I know my stuff. It helps me sometimes with connections, and it helps me see the insight of the politics behind EMS and what could be the issues there instead of me coming in and just trying to navigate it all on my own. Because I've grown up and I've seen the transition between different generations of people in EMS.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's easier for me to see the direction that it might be headed in.
Gotcha. And look, they haven't rang the bell yet. We're going to get you to class on time. We still got a few minutes. We're good.
Yeah.
So thank you for being on. We're going to do this together. We're going to say we are really loud and we'll say one EMS. We are one EMS. Thank you, Megan.